me, Mario. It's me, Mario.
Alright, close enough of a sync here. We will retime races if they're close. Sometimes with the pre-records, we don't quite get the timers working the way they're supposed to, and that is okay. The race is indeed happening, and that is what matters. Logistics take a backseat to the races always. As I believe we had a version difference. I believe that wasn't just the sync being different, but we'll see here. Didn't quite catch the letters. Maybe somebody in the chat can let me know. Seen a lot of Druz supporters in the chat. You love to see it, or at least a few. Always good to root for the underdog here, as the cropping is absolutely atrocious. Restream production team, what are you doing? Working feverishly back there to fix it, I'm sure. Alright, perfect, fantastic. Thank you, production team, for all your hard work. Yeah, I don't know what Dance is doing back there. Like, who taught this guy to press the buttons, honestly? We got both players heading on into Womp's Fortress. Excuse me, bomb on battlefield. Alright, I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm producing and commentating, okay? I'm gonna ruin the illusion. It's not Dance after all. That's my excuse. I promise I know this is bomb on battlefield. I promise. Alright. Small, minor mental meltdown here. Both players not having a meltdown, which is good to see as we do exit out to go to Womp's Fortress now. Amahubahaba in the chat. #1 Mario streamer name on twitch.tv. Make sure to give them a follow if you don't already. Shout outs to all the racers in this tournament. Really appreciate all you. As we do indeed see Womp's Battlefield coming up. Now, this is definitely a battlefield. I don't know how many of you in the chat actually run this game. I know a fair amount of you do, but those that don't, I gotta let you know that this level is an absolute nightmare sometimes. Sunnard here going for Owless, grabbing it with the Lackey C-down camera. Druz going for the same camera. Kind of a staple of emulator, honestly. Just staying in that bar camera. You do eat quite a bit of lag on N64 with that camera, but on emulator it doesn't really matter. So as long as you know the angles you gotta hold, it's definitely a valid option. Even on N64, some players tend to prefer it, which is interesting. Going for Salt Kless here, Sunnard. Feeling a little bit confident. It's always interesting to see, like, is it a confidence thing? You know, you've seen some players coming into the tournament feeling really confident, going for some crazy strats, even some BM. But Sunnard here, going for Salt right off the bat. It could be just a strat thing, as we see Druz going for Sock Folder, but no plank push. Grabbing a little bit too left. It's pretty much underneath the plank when ledge grabbing, which is not where you want to be. But that's okay. We backed it up for Wild Blue. Sunnard missing it as well. Just didn't make up time, unfortunately. Is Sunnard failing here? Was that a texture setup? I believe it was. Sunnard really struggling here. Might see a whole entire, like, repertoire of strats here as we're going for a texture again. It looks like an okay grab spot, a little bit too far to the right. That's a little too left. That looks alright to me. As long as you hold straight down, and it is a successful candleless.
Here we go!
Matt Druz grabbing it second try. So both players having some trouble with candleless, but grabbing Owless and honestly having overall a decent Womps. It's been kind of surprising that we haven't seen more no LBLJ versus no LBLJ in this tournament, especially in the qualifying rounds. I feel like some people feel like they need LBLJ in order to beat their opponent, and others are just so confident with it. And, you know, if the PB gap is big enough, you might as well just go for it. Sunnard in the chat, for those of you watching on the YouTube, claiming that the PB is actually on no LBLJ. So getting a 1632 without LBLJ is pretty sick. Route saves around 30 seconds depending on the moves you go for. So getting a mid 16 without it is definitely a hard feat. And props to Sunnard for doing that. Definitely shows that the movement is clean, the consistency is there. And we're seeing it so far as going to be leaving with a 502 Womps. Druz is going to be leaving with about probably a 5:15 or so. By the time we get up here, grab the star. Unfortunate. Going to be taking a little bit of a dive. No ledge grab. This is a good point to make, though. Don't plug it nearly enough on the channel here on Twitch, but if you are ever looking to look back on some VODs, maybe you just need some SM64 speed racing action or SMO or any of the other games we host on our channel, make sure to head over to the YouTube and subscribe. Always some nice, good background noise to have on demand. Just now getting into the meat of it. I actually just uploaded the Zine and Jaquarium 70-star matchup if you guys want to check that out. But Sunnard taking a bit of a tumble here on wall kicks. Unfortunate. Backup is solid, though. Giving Druz a little bit of time to work. Okay, we're going for the pro strat here. So Druz not afraid to go for the hard stuff, but maybe should have been a little bit afraid. That is going to be a death here to start off CCM. Not what you want to see as the underdog. Alright, one more. Will we get it this time? Does manage to connect. The lineup's a little bit scary for me, but manages to make it work. And Sunnard closing out CCM. 8 stars. Saving the Penguin. I gotta say, Druz isn't quite keeping up with the gameplay so far, but the profile picture is on point. That is probably the comfiest duck profile picture we've had in the tournament. Of any tournament, really, on GSA. We've had several duck avatars, but I've never seen one quite that dressed up. As a fancy duck. Looking pretty cozy, honestly. Druz manages to close things out here in CCM. Sunnard taking a bird to start off Dark World. A little bit scary. Looking to get a Shig backup potentially, but we'll be close for sure. Didn't quite catch the elevator cycle, touching the buttons behind the scene, but looking pretty hot here regardless of what cycle we're on. Let's see what the cheese block has to say. Gonna be close for a late Shig, but gonna end up just going for a bit of in-between cycles here. Not a huge deal. The main beast, of course, is getting through the stage alive, and Sunnard looks to be doing about that, although there is always a potential for it. Ooh, okay, yeah. It's a good thing that I said something about that potential, because otherwise that was just a commentator curse right there, but managing to grab the star into the pipe, no huge problem. Druz taking an amp on the approach. A little bit of sloppy movement here from Druz, a little bit of nerves perhaps. Does make it through. So no deaths in Dark World for either player, which is something you definitely gotta respect here. Already today we've seen some deaths in Dark World. Just a Bowser fight apart here. Which is definitely within the margin of error for 16 star. We've been talking about it all qualifiers so far. The end game of 16 star is where the serious gaming happens, especially in no LBLJ. In LBLJ, of course, you have LBLJ itself. You've got all sorts of hard stars. You got to go for Owlus. You got to go for stuff like Plus, typically, if you're wanting to save the full amount of time. But with no LBLJ, you got some pretty nice, comfy, cozy stars. Got to really focus on your movement, cutting corners, making sure you're not losing time anywhere with, you know, massive bonks or anything. And going for LLL first. Something you don't typically see, but doesn't really lose a bunch of time, so might as well if that's what you're comfy with. Sunnard with a nice clean 8 red coins to start things off. But Druz not too far behind. I like to show his stuff here in the basement, and we'll see what Sunnard opts to go for. We haven't seen whether or not we're going for talent or not, so we could see him hop back into the painting, and we are going to see that. Going to be opting to go for a side hop here, most likely. Looks like that's what we're going to see, which is a little bit risky here. I mean, your opponent's not too far off in PB. If this is something you do in your typical runs, it's definitely good to stay with what you're, practiced with, but looking a little bit scary here. I'm not digging the camera angles. A little bit of a slippery nip type angle there. I believe Slip usually does this in Mario Cam, if I'm not mistaken. Grabbing on that attempt, though, so not going to take a death. Fall a little bit there, and giving Druz quite a bit of a window to catch up. And Sunnard here having a little bit of troubles making it over the top of this mountain as Druz is entering on into LLL. A little bit of a reversal route. It's kind of interesting to see the comparison. Of course, like I was saying earlier, doesn't really make that big of a difference. Tiny bit of castle movement. But Druz here going to opt to just go for the 8 red coins, I'm assuming, and move on. No reason to go for anything else. You've already grabbed Talons, although I think some players have been skipping Rolling Rocks, which is kind of interesting. Skipping Rolling Rocks instead of the Talon Star. I suppose if you want to avoid the RNG, but I don't know. I feel like RNG on boulders is very rarely, like, unavoidable. You gotta get, like, a couple bad boulders in a row to really make it worth trying to avoid. Oh, okay, see upslide from Druz. Alright. I'm surprised to see how many people are going for C upslide. Like, in my head, like, I don't have the best PB, but I'm not even thinking about C upslide. Like, I'm not even worried about it. But there's so many players in this tournament that have had like 18s, even like 19s, I think, and going for C upslide. Like, that's pretty sick, regardless of whether or not you're saving much time with it. Like, I don't know, it just shows you got some gamer skills. You've been putting in the time. Sunnard here going for the left side emergency exit and does nab it. The world's most unnecessary triple jump wall kick has been completed. We are on to Mips. Druz here going to try to clap back. A little bit scary on that dive, but does make it over the edge. Sunnard just going for the safe and consistent dive grab here. As you can see, just a little bit of castle movement and Mips grabbage separating the two. Sunnard not going to have a meltdown on the first door. Not going to go for the pro strat, but a very, very quick Mips 2-door clip. And that is a fantastic Mips segment from my opinion. Druz is going to be getting a nice dropping angle and position. Should be good to make it through the second door as well. Sponsor rep in the chat trying to distract the commentator. A little bit sus. Not gonna lie. Though I have to say, Urban Arts is a pretty fantastic program. So anytime Jason from Urban Arts wants to come in here and distract the chat, I'm down for it. I'm still waiting for the occasional fact droppage in the chat room from the sponsor. Where are the Urban Arts strats? Excuse me, stats. Sunnard here going for back sub, Druz as well. Going to be making it into Fire Sea. And this is kind of where the stars start to get a little bit scary. I mean, no more stars, but the strats rather. Like, Fire Sea is no easy task. Getting an early cycle, even without pole glitch, is quite a difficult feat. And looking pretty clean here so far for Sunnard. Getting a ledge grab, though, that might seal the deal here unless we can be absolutely out of our minds. Ooh, that was scary. Okay, going for the side flip. This could work. No, I'm a little bit too over eager. Oh, let's go. No. Commentator topping out the microphone with the clap. I'm sorry, but that was... Oh, I believed, dude. I believed. I believed so hard. Oh, man. That was rough to watch, but Druz, unfortunately, unable to make that cycle and make up the time. The Sunnard are going to be pulling ahead here once again. Jason from Urban Arts in the chat letting us know that 1,700 students in their game design program in 2021 and 100% of their graduates got accepted into college. That is fantastic. Shout out to the Urban Arts. They are a fantastic program. Oh my goodness, as Druz almost taking a death here, but has a little bit more than one burn on the books. Needs to be careful, though. I would just say take the wall kicks here. Don't go for that. And oh my gosh, what on earth did I just witness, Druz? Was unnecessary wall kicks there. I mean, at that point they were necessary, but honestly, just, I don't know. I would have just taken the wall kicks at that point. Managing to make it into the Bowser toss, though, and gonna connect with it, so... Not too far behind here heading into BLJs. I know we had a lot of doubters of Druz, or at least a couple, in the waiting period before this matchup, but I think it's pretty clear to anyone right now that this is definitely either racer's game, as Sunnard has to get some nice BLJs here to maintain this lead. And that is a nice first BLJ. Gonna be making through the door with a couple of air BLJs, nothing a huge deal. It's gonna definitely be something we're comfortable with, as Druz taking an interesting ledge grab in lobby. The second staircase is typically the easier of the two. You don't typically see racers getting stuck on it too long, and Sunnard proved my point there, gonna make it in quickly. Not connecting on the first or even the second volley of BLJs, but you have an infinite staircase to go up. That makes it quite a bit easier, as Druz gonna have to line up for a second wave here. These BLJs are just not connecting for Druz, unfortunately, as Sunnard is completely flying through here. Gonna go for that moving left side, a nice lineup, giving a little bit of an angle from the middle there. Definitely something I like to do personally in my runs, but making a crucial mistake here, trying to make a quick elevator cycle and gonna take a big tumble here. Could have been a sizable opening for Druz, but Druz just cannot get this first BLJ. Sunnard here, second attempt. Let's just take it easy on the elevators. It's gonna do so. Druz just cannot make it up these stairs, unfortunately. Just going with every camera at this point, trying to make something work, and we have connected, but a little too much too late, as Sunnard is already into the Bowser tosses. Gonna be looking to close things out. Would need a Bowser throw meltdown. We've seen it before, but I don't know if we're gonna see it again, as the first throw is going to hit here for Sunnard. Second throw is good. Just one more to close the deal, and that's going to be it. Round one going to Sunnard here. Maybe one step closer moving on to round number two. An 18:20 is a pretty good race time, I gotta say. Regardless of which platform you're playing on, regardless of your skill level, an 18:20 is definitely something to be happy with in a race setting. On. I was just taking a tumble here. Only 3 slices of pie left. Just cannot quite get this triple jump wall kick. Gonna go for the pole. It's all good, all respectable. Definitely a hard strat to end the run off with. We'll have to see. Oh no, Druz. Oh god, no, Druz. No. Oh, that was like the most unfortunate series of events we've seen all night. That was certainly a rough time. Commentator forgetting to switch audio. Chat not having a meltdown yet about it. Thank you, chat. Chat's way too nice to me. I mess up so much on restreaming and everybody's just so nice. Appreciate y'all. Everybody always closes their eyes when I make mistakes, but unfortunately, our eyes are all open right now as Druz is having a little bit of a meltdown here in Sky. Gotta be going for... I gotta respect that, okay? So, you just had, like, a colossal meltdown. Like, the apex of it being a just completely bonkers dive off the side to your death. And you're gonna go for triple jump wall kick again? You know, with an 1847 PB? I gotta respect that. That's mad props to Druz there. Into the pipe here. No sub 20 for race number 1 for Druz, but not the end of the world. We got match 2 to go, and it was certainly close to the end of the race. All the way up to Sky, it felt like Druz could come back. Those BLJs were just not working out. That can certainly put a hamper on your gameplay. Oh, missed 3 for Druz, but I mean, 2 out of 3 so far. And we get a 3 out of 4, and it is a 3rd out of 4. Some rage cameras there, but honestly, not bad throws, especially in a race in a tournament setting. Gotta be happy with that if we are Druz supporters, which I think we got a lot of them in the chat room. Shout out to the Druz supporters. Alright, so chat, I gotta hear some support here. Who are we supporting for the second match? I know I personally want to see a game 3, but what's chat feeling? That is the weirdest glitch ever, by the way, that like weird blue screen in the credits. Is that relatively common on EMU? Alright, we got Oofer Boy in for this next race. Oofer, welcome in. Glad you could make it.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm just chilling, enjoying the Mario 64 for the evening. Nice to have a nice, fat block of 64 action.
Yeah, as yesterday we didn't see much 64 action, a bit more SMO than 64, but today we've got a lineup of SM64 races to cover.
Very true. See Sunnard resetting here, getting ready for the next one. We'll see if we can get Druz all lined up. Oh, yep, I'm showing the race. Just whoops. Okay, nobody saw it. It's okay, chat. Nobody saw it. This is my least favorite part about pre-records. Everyone's always like, oh man, pre-records are so boring. I'm like, man, pre-records are so much harder. Like, for me, it's way worse. But either way, we will get started here on match number 2.
It's me, Mario.
Newford, did you watch the first race? What were your thoughts?
I did watch some of it. I mean, it was crazy how both the runners were pretty much even towards the end. Until that, like, BLJs and that kind of left behind for Druz.
Yeah, I mean, BLJs can do that for sure. We've talked about it throughout the tournament. We've seen it happen to quite a few racers. We've seen some upsets because of it, quite honestly. It can be a huge tide turner, and that's part of the real fun part about 16 star. You know, every single category in Mario 64 has its ups and downs when it comes to racing, as far as like viewership goes and playing in it. But I definitely think one of the strengths of 16 star is that just anything can happen on BLJs and Fire Sea, and there's just too much brutal stuff going on to have, like, you know, clear, obvious favorites. But we are getting into match 2 here. We see Sunnard getting that Lakitu skip, and Druz gonna drop it, so Druz falling a little bit behind right off the bat. I think this is called Rainbow World. I'm not really sure, Jason. Maybe you can look up on the Wikipedia and let me know. Bob on Battlefield. Okay. Noted. Sorry, I'm new here.
Yeah, I always thought the map was called Big Bob-omb's Revolution, you know. Could be any name.
That does sound a bit like a ROM hack name for a level, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's some interesting ROM hack level names, that's for sure. Especially when you get into like the Turbo Extreme Hyper Extended Edition ROM hacks. Things get a little bit crazy. We do see both players getting out of Bob on Battlefield with decent success. Heading over to Womp's here. See how that goes. Both players getting Owlless last race. Let's see if that stays true here.
Ooh, Sunnard taking a bit of a fall, bonk, falling down. And gets it first try. Very nice.
Here we go!
Druz not getting the right angle for Owlless, having to go back. But, oh, just barely doesn't make it through the cage.
Oh yeah, rough. Getting it first try on the first run, but unable to, you know, mirror that here. And it gets a little bit scary, you know, you miss Owlless a couple times, your life bar starts going down. This is... We're getting a little bit scary territory, as dying on Owlless is not something that is unheard of in tournaments. Yeah, chat. Rightfully calling out that Salt Candleless. I was a little bit too occupied with the Owlless. Always feel free to talk over me for if I'm just obsessing over some stupid thing and something crazy happens. Feel free to shout at me.
Alright, Sunnard going for the Big King Womp. And Druz opting for sock folder setup, the safer alternative, though mainly the main setup used for panelists. There is many ways you can do panelists.
Yeah, there are many ways you can do it, but some are more consistent than others. And, you know, we kind of just saw a nice little, I don't know, let's call it a, my brain wants to say cascade, but the right word is contrast. Is Druz going for single jump there? Was that an accident? Or I think that was on purpose. I think we were trying to swag out. Definitely would have been a shocker if we were to see that, but unfortunately not happening there.
Sunnard with a clean fortress, making their way into CCM. Oh, Druz!
No, that is...
Barely make it back up.
That is the worst mistake.
Just barely makes it back up.
Yeah, I mean, at least we landed on our booty so we can make it down. If you end up diving there, it's like impossible to do anything. You just die. But yeah, definitely one of the rougher mistakes you can make in Wasp's Fortress. Luckily able to recover, but at that point it's almost better to just take the warp and do the triple jump strat, honestly. You get so discombobulated.
I Sunnard with a nice wall kicks. Sunnard will be grabbing the baby penguin, bring it back to its rightful mother, and going into the darkest of worlds.
Yeah, somebody in the chat the other day was asking if it's confirmed that that is the baby's mother, and I was very confused. Like, I guess it makes sense. Like, a lot of runners will play this game just like on Japanese, and they never actually have played through the game casually, like through English, and like, honestly, like me growing up, I didn't read a lot of the text boxes either, so I can get it, but definitely the penguin's mother, confirmed, is real.
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought it was just kind of an assumption, like, I mean, kind of just assume it's just the mother wants their child back. But, it is confirmed somewhere.
Yes, in the game itself, even.
Yep. Connor knocking the early switch press, having to go back to get it.
Yeah, we've had some slappiness so far. Ooh.
Failing the pro wall kicks, taking a death there.
Yeah, pro wall kicks, especially when you're not, like, super, I don't know, like, ultra consistent at it. It's so risky in races. I don't know if Druz knows any other strats, but, I mean, going for in races, like, a more beginner-friendly strategy is, honestly, like, I wouldn't dock anybody for doing it. You lose, like, 1 or 2 seconds, and you don't die, like, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
But Druz here, trying to ball out, I can respect it. It hurts to see 2 deaths in a row on that star.
Yep. Alright, Sunnard with a pretty clean Dark World, despite some small mistakes, but got through it with no deaths. Oh, just connecting that throw there.
Yeah, I mean, hitting into basement here, an entire Dark World ahead of Druz. How do you feel about Druz's chances in this one? I mean, we need a victory here. Sunnard looking like he's playing pretty consistent.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it does look like Sunnard is playing pretty consistent throughout the last race and this race. But there is some way that Druz can make himself a comeback.
Yeah, I'm a believer, that's for sure. I'm always a believer in the underdog, but definitely a tough hill to climb here, as the early game has not been kind to Druz. Making it through this stage, though, without a death. Getting that ledge grab there at the end of the Reds movement, but not a huge game ender for sure. Much safer than going for some kick, maybe take a dive, take a death, and a bonk, but Druz playing it pretty safe and consistent here. Does make it through the stage.
As I think Sunnard will be going for a side hop, no BLJ route.
Yeah, we saw it last race, and it was looking a bit tricky for him. Definitely could be a potential point of weakness here.
Definitely, with Druz finishing out Dark World and making his way to basement for an arrangement of stars.
That angle...
Sunnard.
Yeah, that angle plays with my mind, man. I don't know.
I always think the normal, like, straight on just... Oh, wait, one second.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that I don't think it's a good angle or whatever, like... It's just something I'm not particularly used to, so every time somebody gets it, I'm just shocked. Like, I did not think either of the last 2 times Sunnard got it that he was going to grab that ledge, but... Managing to prove me wrong here, as he is heading into HMC. Just 2 more stars to collect before we are headed to MIPS. Oh, That was a weird bog from Druz. Came from the era where 3D games were not quite figured out yet, and there are definitely a lot of invisible walls in this game, as they are known. Gonna get some Mario scientists in the chat if I say invis walls too many times, because technically they are not invisible walls, but I am no Mario scientist.
Sorry about that. A bit of an interruption.
All good. Didn't miss much. We haven't had any catastrophic meltdowns in the last couple seconds, so that's a positive. Although, Druz probably hoping for one from Sunnard here, as Sunnard's just kind of whizzing through, getting an 11-17. Well, not really a fade out, but, you know, making it out of HMC in the low 11s is definitely a solid time for a race.
Sunnard's looking, with his run, Druz would have to possibly even PB to catch up to Sunnard.
Yeah, I believe it is called Harry Potter clip that you have to do to enter Shifting Sandland. That's what I learned from another commentator earlier this week. As Druz going for some of the most wild moves here. I don't know if we just decided to go for a different star all of a sudden, or if we were going for a star we didn't mean to and had to decide to change at the last second, but Druz is all over the board in Lava Land right now. Perhaps kicking himself a little bit. As Sunnard is having a bit of a MIPS meltdown. This is not looking great. Grab it this time.
I'm not having the best time on the basement door with MIPS, but makes it cleanly through the 30-star door.
Oh, I see. We're going for side hop. See, that's something I'm not really sure I understand. Like, going for side hop, I guess it saves time over Rolling Rocks, but I don't know. Rolling Rocks is such an easy star. What's a good time for Rolling Rocks anyways? Isn't it like around a 15?
Yeah, around like 15, 16. And a good time
yeah,
for,
I guess,
for side hop is like a 13, 14.
Yeah, I guess it's fair to go for it. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when I see people substitute Rolling Rocks is when they already do side hop in place for Talon, so they don't have to do, so they do Tama instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like doing Rolling Rocks, or it over Rolling Rocks instead is definitely fair, though. I don't know. It's just not something I've ever thought of before. Kind of just seeing a lot in this tournament.
As Sunnard making their way into Fire Sea. We'll see if they catch the early cycle. Druz finishing up HMC. Sunnard taking a bit of a booty burn there.
Yeah, that's gonna put a bit of a cap on the early cycle, unfortunately, unless... Okay, going for the BLJ? Oh, he never triggered the elevator. No. Oh, that would have been like a soul-crushing moment. I mean...
Didn't really change much due to not being able to make the cycle after that and being able to just make the same exact cycle this time.
Yeah, certainly not a huge time loss or anything, but definitely a bit soul-crushing as we are so far on the left side of this little platform here. I'm a little bit scared. But does end up making it. Sunnard definitely knowing his moves here.
Druz with a clean basement door MIPS.
Yeah, and going for the double jump, glitchy wall kick, not going to grab it though, but a quick re-grab and set down on MIPS, going to get him through that 30-star door and into DDD. But is it too little too late, as Sunnard is already wrapping up the Bowser 2 fight, a full 2 stages ahead at this point, and on into BLJs. EV favorite looking pretty strong here, heading into the final segments of the run. And he had some pretty good BLJs last run, so... those supporters gotta be sweating in the chat right now.
Sunnard not being able to make the catch on the first try of BLJs. Druz making their way into piracy now. With Sunnard having, I think, enough speed to clip through. There we go.
Oh, and Druz, it looked like we were going to escape for a moment, but taking a little bit too much damage and then reburning as well. Gonna have to take a death here in Fire Sea as Sunnard is up and into Sky, easy peasy, making it look like it's a breeze. And Druz is on his last legs here in the tournament. Is that even a saying? I'm pretty sure that's a saying, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
how many legs does Druz have?
I mean, you'd have to have, like, many to say, like, on his last, because you'd have to go through quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that a goose? I'm pretty sure geese only have 2 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, having to line up for this left side, but does end up getting it. Some interesting moves there from Druz. Blows out Fire Sea, but Sunnard here into the final Bowser pipe. On pace for a mid-16. See if he can close it out.
Yeah, it looks like both the runners will be going to throws, but maybe not in the right stages. Maybe not on the same stage. At Sunnard with a nice first throw. Druz not being able to connect on the Bowser Fire Sea throw.
Yeah, that's a sizable time loss there as Sunnard throwing that last toss. Looks like it's going to connect and closing things out with a mid-17 as predicted. Absolutely slamming the door on Druz here, not giving any chance.
Yeah, Sunnard with a very nice second run here. Druz finally being able to connect with that third throw.
Solid 2-0 victory here for Sunnard, bringing Druz's tournament life to an end, but not this run. We still have the rest of it to enjoy here as Druz on a decent pace. Had a little bit of troubles here and there, particularly Fire Sea being a little bit rough. Obviously taking a death there, not ideal. But across the board, not playing too bad and definitely putting up a good fight here today. Ooh, and a very nice first connection on the BLJs. That is like, I'm happy with it in a PB type BLJs. Like, beyond happy, honestly. Like, I'd be stoked to get that in a PB run as second staircase. Going for the lack to see down camera. An interesting camera.
Having a bit of trouble catching here.
Yeah. Does manage to connect eventually. Not a bad set of BLJs. Second staircase, obviously, a bit more timely than the first, but on into Sky. Let's see if we can make it a little bit cleaner than last runs. Oh, and going for Task Long Jump, not quite grabbing it. Oh, man, that would have been sick to see. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting that. I gotta say, like, I'm super impressed with, like, the amount of just crazy strats we're seeing runners pull out that you would never expect. Like, looking at Druz's PB, looking at what's going on in this race, you would never expect Druz to just pop out the pass long jump attempt, but yet we just saw it there. And honestly, it wasn't that far off. We got the wall kick. Could have got the ledge grab for sure, but definitely cool to see. Oh, just so much trouble with this triple jump wall kick. It can be a huge stress point for runs. Like, there's so much riding on that one wall kick. It's like you get it, you're saving time, you miss it, and you're losing a big chunk, but it does manage to get it eventually this time, which is fantastic. Yeah, straight towards the Goomba there, but does avoid it and on into throws. 20 pace here, unfortunate, unable to nab a sub 20, but let's clutch out this 20 here. I want to see it. perfect throws from Druz coming up. There's one. Two throws. And those are fast ones too. And the regrabs. Oh, where are we throwing this? Oh no, a little bit of indecisiveness there. Deciding to throw it at the last moment before the camera turns and gonna cost him the 20, but still a nice set of throws. Missing only one and a little bit of frustrations coming out from Druz, but I think we can be relatively happy with that performance from the throws. Oh my god, trolling me. If you want to troll me as a race participant, that is the simplest and yet most effective way, because I'm sitting here waiting to split. And then you're just like running around in circles. Oh man. Either way, Druz closing things out with the 21-11. Unfortunately, unable to continue on in this tournament, but on in our hearts, he will live forever. Hopefully in our followers list. If you haven't already, make sure to check them out. Make sure to check out me and Oofer, who is definitely not West Dog, but do check out West Dog as well. Sunnard, I know I've seen you in the chat, Druz as well. If either of you want to hop in for an interview, just jump into the waiting room in the Discord and I will pull you in for a quick little chat before we move on to the next one. We got plenty of time, so feel free.
And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. We have to do something special for you.
Here we go!
Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake. For Mario.
Don't know if we're gonna get Sunnard in for an interview here. Gonna give him a couple more minutes before we head on to the next match. We have a little over a half an hour until the next match is scheduled, so we'll be just chilling for a minute, maybe go over some of the last matches that are to come up. Which there aren't many left. We have, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 matches left in the N64 division. I believe this is the last EMU match, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting close to the end here of round 1, which is a relief because round 2 is coming up this weekend. Got another 2 rounds to go in the N64 bracket. We're going to try to blast through those as fast as possible so we can get to the meat and potatoes of it. And it looks like we have 2 more in the EMU bracket. I'm not sure if Sean Hartman has ended up playing. Okay, yeah, Sean Hartman's, we're waiting on this pre-record, so a few more matches to go. Should be ready by the weekend for round 2, so I'm excited. I hope everybody in the chat is excited and has been enjoying the tournament. And Sunnard letting us know that he is in fact not up for an interview, which is totally fine. And yeah, no problem. I do enjoy running these tournaments. I hope everybody enjoys participating as well. Everybody has been quite receptive, so I do appreciate that out of everybody. Just really, really appreciate everybody being on board for commentary and all that. Definitely helps keep things easy as we're watching Sunnard's third race, which we're not going to get to see. I mean, honestly, we could watch it. We have time. Do you guys want to watch match 3? I mean, this doesn't really mean anything. I'm going to cut the VOD now, but... It's either that or we have 30 minutes of dead air. Sunnard claiming to have done funny things. Alright, maybe we need to watch game 3. I don't know, everybody likes dead air and waiting, starting soon screens, right? Maybe that's better. Play I Spy.
I spy.
Like the old, like, Windows games. Alright, we gotta pause this VOD. We're seeing too much into the future. Sunnard, slow down. Slow down, buddy. Oh, I just paused the entire thing. Oh, jeez. Oh, god, oh, man. Okay, everybody relax. It's totally fine. The streamer knows what he's doing.
Are we gonna be commentating this third race?
What's that?
Are we gonna be commentating this third race?
I mean, if you're down, you don't have to. I can just chill myself.
Yeah, I might have to go because I
It's me,
didn't
Mario.
know
Sag.
about outcome, so sorry about that.
All good.
Yeah, I'll be open for not tomorrow, but any around like after 5 on Wednesday if there's any more matches. So yeah.
Yeah, always appreciate the assistance, Uberboy. And yeah, we will see you next time.
Yep. Thanks for letting me on here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Alright, Ufer has exited the building, and that means it is time for the fake race number 3. Everybody in the chat who requested it, which I think was like 2 people, but I appreciate you anyways.
It's me, Mario.
Alright, and we are actually synced up off the bat, which is fantastic. You love to see it. Heading into Not Real game number 3.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you.
But honestly, I've enjoyed that, you know, obviously the pre-recorders are kind of like forced to do 3 races in case he goes to a best of 3. But even in some live races, we've had some like demands for the grudge matches to be played out, which is awesome, because I know back in the day, I think it was mandatory that all races got played anyways, just so there'd be like less dead air, and like VODs would all be the same length or whatever for YouTube, or there's like a variety of different reasons, but I think there's a bit of like disgruntledness from, you know, players being forced to play that game 3, but now it seems like everybody just wants to go at it, dude. Everybody wants to battle it out for honor and glory, which is, you love to see it. Even Sunnard on Team Druz this time as we are heading into Peach's Castle. Twitch VODs do show viewer counts, but it doesn't update instantly. It takes like a day or so for the actual view count to appear. They recently actually changed the way Twitch VODs operate. They used to not even show, like, it used to not count live views. So, like, everybody's VODs would have like 2 views, because like, who watches Twitch VODs, let's be honest. I'll like highlight the races on Twitch before I upload it to YouTube, and they'll get like 20 views. So shout outs to everybody out there supporting the Twitch highlights, because there's not too many of you, but you're heading up to Bomb Clip here for Druz. Sunnard, of course, already grabbing it.
Here we go.
Yeah, we should start more often just showing the 3rd match. I think I'll clip it to 2 just for the VOD, or maybe we'll do all 3. I think I might just clip all 3 into the VOD, because occasionally there's YouTube viewers that will complain because they'll look at like the VOD time. That is the weirdest movement I've ever seen from Druz, but they'll like look at the YouTube VOD time, and then they'll just like do the mental math or whatever and be like, oh, this is only a 2 race match, or like assume that's only a 2 race map, so then it gets spoiled. Yeah, it might even just be better to do it this way, if it's a possibility. As Sunnard missing Owlus here and giving quite a giant opportunity here for Druz. He's right on his tail. Sunnard looking like a good attempt here, and Druz grabbing it as well, so catching up quite a bit there. Sunnard having a bit of a Womp's meltdown so far. Yeah, I think we'll try to always show the 3 races for pre-records, and then if it's a live race, like, we won't force people to do it, but we'll just leave the option on the table for sure. Try to encourage people to do them. I think it's good all around. Nobody likes to come into a channel or just be sitting in a channel and it's a waiting screen for 30 minutes. But either way, Womp's looking solid for both players here. Sunnard gonna go for Wild Blue here, as well as Druz. Of course, opting to get that Wild Blue before we spawn the tower, as spawning the tower... well, I was gonna say creates a bunch of lag, but yeah, okay, I guess we're on emulator, scratch that. I gotta say though, both players using the correct plugin. We're using the Glide visual plugin, which is absolutely amazing. Props to both runners for correctly monitoring their settings, not using the Jabba plugin. Yeah, I mean, Jabba is from a different era, you know, it was, oh, getting the weirdest ledge grab I've ever seen, Sunnard, what was that? Almost getting crushed by the thwomp here. Oh my gosh, Sunnard claiming to have done funny things in this race, and the funny things are coming out here. Oh my goodness. Druz taking the lead here. One of the first leads in this entire match. Probably the most significant one as well. I'm glad we watched this match number 3. Yeah, an absolutely cracked Womp so far from Sunnard, as Druz is going up to the tower as we speak. A little bit strange wall kick angles here from Druz, not able to make it up to the top of the tower, unfortunately. Oh man, just... you don't want to be right in the corner of this, or you end up doing that where you're wall kicking in the wrong direction. So there you see him wall kicking a little bit further to the right. And gonna connect, but Sunnard getting the triple jump dive. Gonna catch up quite a bit here. The lead diminished for Druz, but still in his possession as we head over into CCM, and we've seen him have some troubles with CCM. Pro wall kicks has not been kind to our friend Druz. I saw your DM about the clips, by the way, Jason. We're on the same page, and I will help you out. That's all I have to say. But for all the chatters out there, make sure that whenever you see an epic gamer moment or fail on the channel, do make sure to clip it and send it in the Discord or on Twitter or whatever, so that we can, you know, try to keep track of all the moments, try to make sure we don't miss anything for the highlight videos. But Druz there, while I was rambling on about clips and promotional material, got an absolutely fantastic pro wall kicks. Proving me wrong, proving that he's consistent. Oh, and a sync on the penguin grab here. One of the strangest places to see a sync, but gotta be delivering the penguin to its mama here. And a nice little showcase of the difference between Japanese and English on this star. Star spawn is a little bit different. Spawning right above the penguin's head on Japanese and a little bit off to the side on English. Oh, and a ledge grab. Gonna be killing the sync. Sync's always putting a giant magnifying glass on every single mistake. And mistakes do tend to fly here in Dark World, so we will see what happens as we head down into the Dark World. Druz unable to grab that switch there. Not taking a burn though, which is definitely a positive. Sunnard on a nice pace here for Shig. He can hold it together. Both players getting pretty solid cycles here. Druz having a little bit of a backup cycle movement, but Sunnard making it look easy here as we head into the Bowser Pipe and reclaiming his lead pretty solidly. Yeah, I'm not sure. I was gonna say maybe it's a plugin setting issue, but I don't know. I mean, they're both playing on Glide. I'm pretty sure. It could be just a version difference. I wasn't privy to either. But yeah, I definitely wasn't aware of that. Not sure where the Mario scientists are. Usually there's a million Mario scientists in the chat ready to chime in at any opportunity to show off their game knowledge, but must all be in hibernation currently, which is totally fine. The Sunnard here collecting the top of the pyramid star to start things off in Womps, or excuse me, Shifting Sandland. I don't know why I want to call everything Womps today. I blamed it on the production earlier, now I have no reason. Every stage is Womps. I'm stuck in Womps. My brain's stuck in Womps. We're once again going for that burn strat on 8 red coins. Something I think should be considered by a lot more beginner level players. I see a lot of players starting out going for those long jumps, and yeah, they technically are faster, but it's not the fastest strat you can go for in that stage, and the burn strat honestly loses very little time, and it's so comfy. A few different ways you can do it, but whatever is most comfortable is the best thing to go for, as Sunnard here going for one of the least comfortable camera angles I can imagine here on side hop and going to grab it. Even though it looks like there's no way in heck he should have grabbed it again, but camera angles can be deceiving. Oh, and Druz taking a nice burn here on 8 red coins. Yeah, Hazy Womp's Cave is going to be awesome. Coming up on it here for Sunnard, jumping in to grab his first star. See what he's going to opt for here. Probably going to be... Oh, well, it's only going to be emergency... Or no, excuse me, sorry. He already got Toad Star. So used to running and watching LBLJ routes. You see that fantastic C-up slide once again for Druz, but an awful boulder gonna slap him right in the face, ruining all of the fun. Okay, and Sunnard, I looked away for a second, is going on an adventure. I'm not really sure where we're going, but this is an interesting thing to do, I suppose. I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay, Sunnard. I usually try to avoid laughing, but what the heck was that? I looked away for a second. I'm guessing we accidentally went for Rolling Rocks a second time, and then decided that was the backup to go for. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I apparently cannot understand the vision Prophet Sunnard has bestowed. Oh my gosh, and getting the punch clip through the wall with MIPS in hand, that is something you don't see every day. Sunnard absolutely flying here. We're getting stopped by the 30-star door. It says no way. Going for that backflip to avoid the talk, but a little bit rough way to end that. Definitely got to be feeling good about it though. Druz, I think that was a grabbable MIPS. You jump and hold down, you probably have grabbed that. Make sure you hold down right while you're in the air though. I don't know, would have been close for sure. Usually I'm not so nervous on the 30-star door because like, alright, yeah, you can talk to the door or lose some time or whatever, but it's usually not that bad. We've seen at least 2, if not 3 people lose MIPS to the door at this point, which is actually kind of ridiculous for a 16-star tournament to have that many MIPS losses. And while I'm bringing it up, if anybody does that in a race, go grab the key door, reload the room, and MIPS will be there. Do not enter and die in a stage. It is much slower. Don't do it. Plus, if you're having like a complete Mario meltdown run, you're gonna have a game over and not have a good time. But either way, Sunnard here inside of Fire Sea, having a little bit of troubles here with the movement. Not really looking like we're gonna be making any sort of particular cycle. Maybe hoping and praying for a normal cycle at this point, but I think even that is gonna be a bit difficult. Oh, and a save and quit from our friend over on the right side. Druz, no. Oh, we've seen that a couple times too. That is probably the most painful save and quit in the whole game. You've got to go collect MIPS again. And that is a pretty hard nail in the coffin right there for Druz. I don't know how we come back from this. We got to collect MIPS again, get MIPS clip again. As opposed to just jumping right into Fire Sea. Would have been about a Fire Sea behind, but instead... it is a definite Mario meltdown here for Druz. Sunnard. Wrapping up Bowser 2. I thought there was a candy bar emoji, and it made me think of that new Mr. Beast candy bar. Did you guys see that? It's literally Willy Wonka in real life. It's probably the most, like, pag chomp online sweepstakes I've ever seen. Either way, we got Sunnard here, heading upstairs to BLJ's. Managing to avoid the save and quit. You know, that's especially painful because we're on emulator. It's like, man, you're going for the save and, or, don't save and continues, but like, it really doesn't save time. I don't know. It hurts. Gotta agree with Darkman in the chat. I'm super hyped to see all the emulator runners playing in a tournament. Sunnard having some troubles with the BLJs here. We have had troubles overall, but that's not gonna work. Needs a little bit more speed to make that work with air BLJs. Oh, and a burn from Druz here. Oh, okay, trying to get the left side movement still, but having to do a U-turn. And Sunnard honestly giving quite a bit of time here to Druz, and Druz, you need to back off, man. Oh no. I mean, we're gonna live. I guess that's okay. Man. Imagine if there's no save and quit and that Fire Sea was a little bit cleaner from Druz. This would be pretty close at this point. Be like collecting the key or something right now. Sunnard making quick work of that second staircase. No BLJ meltdown there as Druz. Okay, almost making that cycle, but not quite. Bit of an unfortunate ending there for Druz. Oh, and we're in C-up camera. It's never a good time when you're in the C-up camera. This is not OOT in 2008. You do not want to be lining up for anything in C-up cam. Oh no, and trying to go for the double burn with no health. That is not going to be the ticket, Druz. No, dude. The triple jump success for Sunnard. Gonna be wrapping things up here. Just has to navigate the Goomba minefield, and an easy Goomba minefield to navigate, as Druz is just in the weirdest spot I've ever seen. I didn't look for 2 seconds. He's out in the lava field. Throw for our friend Sunnard here on the left side of the screen. 2 throws are complete now, just 1 more. We got 3 sub-20s here. Back to back. That's pretty solid. And that is going to be 3 sub-20s in a row. Druz taking another death in Fire Sea, but regardless, Sunnard having a nice run here. Closing things out with a mid-18. Nice runs for the first round of the tournament. Definitely going to be a confidence booster going into... Well, I guess it's emulator, so you're just on into the group stage. Just going for the infinite ground pound strat. Definitely an interesting thing to go for. As I will say, I mean, it is a, you know, a race. We already know the outcome of the series and all that, but make sure, guys, if you do a pre-recorded race, not to spoil anything in the chat, or if you happen to know the results of a race for some reason, maybe you've been spying, maybe you've been talking to the racers, make sure not to spoil things in the chat. Would be greatly appreciated, regardless of the outcomes. GG's here in the chat. Love to see that. Criminal lack of Drakes today in the chat. I'm gonna have to get some Drakes out in the chat when Druz finishes his run off here. First volley of BLJs not connecting, unfortunately for Druz. Can we get it on the second wave? Doesn't look like we're gonna connect. It's possible to get it fairly close to the edge of the stairs up there. Do make it on the third volley, so that is not a bad set of BLJs there for the 50-star door. We'll see how the infinite stairs go. Oh boy. 16-star moment. Alright, come on, Druz. You got this. Alright, there we go. We are up the infinite stairs and into sky. I'm ready for this epic gamer moment, Druz. You promised it. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm leaning forward. I'm in the gamer position. Okay, going past your head. That's not what I was like. I was not expecting that. Okay. Alright. Druz showing off that he is a 120 master, apparently. Oh no, and taking it to death. No, Druz. What is that? Yeah, I was thinking task long jump, dude. No, the next race is live. Alright, not gonna go for it this time. Alright, here we go. Here's the task long jump. Alright, boom. Oh. Okay. Retry. Retry. Yep. Boom. Okay, retry. Third time's the charm. Here you go, Druz. This one's for all the cookies. Okay, yep. Alright, there we go. We got the wall kick, ledge grab. Good enough. That is gamer. Probably losing time over even just running around the rotating platform. But you know what? We came to play. Pogs are flying in the chat. That's what's really important here. Oh, no. Here's bonk, unfortunately. Like a level 3 bonk. Oh, and not connecting on the triple jump long. Triple jump long? What? Triple jump wall kick. been a long series, okay? Oh, not compensating for the moving. I'm gonna call it a carpet. I don't care what West Dog says. I don't care what the chat says. It's a magic carpet. It's a flat moving surface that flies through the air. It's the N64. I know there's actual magic carpets in this game, but that is also a magic carpet. Okay. Going for the side flip wall kick to end it off. No, you can say whatever you want about the times that Druz is dropping here in this tournament race, but definitely knows the Mario moves. Definitely has some crazy strats under the hood. Props for Druz for breaking some of those out here today. Unable to grab the re-grab there. Gonna make the second throw a little bit awkward, although going for the close bomb. Does make this third bomb a little bit more difficult. Gonna toss and not, unfortunately, being a connected bomb for Druz on the third throw. Can we still get the sub 25? There we go. And the clean sub 25 from our gamer Druz here. Unable to grab a victory in this best of 3, but going up against a formidable opponent and showing off some cool stuff for us today. My hat is off to you, Druz. My Drake is in the chat. Oh, come on, Druz. Oh, man. Definitely some swag moves there. Sunnard declining to interview. Druz, I don't know if you're down to interview, but we do have 2 minutes until our next match is scheduled, and we do have to stay on pace. So, perhaps you can give us your words in the chat room, let us know any thoughts or feelings you had. Obviously, the God Gamer gameplay came out in some shape or form. If you are interested in learning how to speedrun SM64, I highly encourage you to go check out the community guides over on Wikipedia. Fantastic collection of community content over there. Get you all the stars step by step, all the strats. And also the SM64 Discord has a lot of helpful people in there at all times in the gameplay help section. Ask whatever you need in order to get started. I was saying in the chat that it's his first tourney, so had hella nerves, which is definitely understandable. Even in a pre-recorded race, the races do matter. One reset and that's it for each race, so definitely a lot of pressure.
Thank you, Mario.
And that pressure doesn't go away for most people, so if you're gonna join more tournaments, I mean, I hope you enjoy that feeling, because some level or another, it's gonna be there for a while, not forever. Even the best get, you know, a little bit worried and freaked out on their races, especially when there's a lot on the line. But we're gonna go to a short little break here. Let's jam out to the outro a little bit. We're chilling. I can do some setup while we're jamming to the outro. I know we have some outro music fans in the chat. It's my favorite song in the game. Say that for sure. Next up, we do have that drunken dwarf versus Swag H, who is, I think, legitimately a Yoshi. I know for a fact that that drunken dwarf is for sure a dwarf, but I've not gotten confirmation yet if Swag H is in fact a Yoshi or not. The profile picture would lead me to believe that, but we'll have to see. Yeah, it's definitely interesting because, like, BLJs are something that's really hard to get consistent, but, like, the general concept is pretty easy. Like, you could literally do BLJs, and some people will take them, like, you know, an hour to get it the first time. Some people will literally try it for, like, 5-10 minutes, and they pop off and get it. Getting it consistently is one thing. Getting it once is an entirely different one, and definitely anybody can do that. So if you are interested in the game, do check it out. Like I said, the guides and the Discord are all very helpful. we'll be going to a short little break here. I am pulling up some racer streams as we speak. Semi tourney can be fire. Stay tuned for the 7-star tourney. Wink, wink. But do stick around. We'll be learning a little bit about Urban Arts. Fantastic program that we are sponsored by here on GSA. We are partnered with them. Find out a lot about them. There's a panel below our stream as well as a command in the chat you can plug in there. So do check that out. Also plug the runners in the chat if you would. Chat. H Point Racers is always welcome to be thrown in the chat at any time because some of these runners are criminally underrepresented in their follower count. Like people will come in here and they'll be like, yeah, I got a 1545. And you go click on their profile and they have 14 followers. And it's like that is like physically painful to me. Like go follow these racers. They definitely deserve all the support. But we will go learn a little bit about UAP. They are a fantastic program that teaches underprivileged students in the United States about technology and the arts around game design. It's a really good program to partner with us here at GSA because you know we're all about gaming. They're all about gaming and helping those in need. So do check them out, and we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes with the next match. So don't go anywhere.
Thank you so much for playing my game.